Hello, my name is Dr. Lawrence Miller, and I'm the middle child of Lawrence and Adela Miller, who raised me in the South Bronx of New York City in a housing project called Patterson Houses. And I had the opportunity as a young person to go ahead and learn about the different things in life that were important to me from a very early age, as far as my mother always telling me, if you got a good education, you could go as far as you would like to go in life. And so that's what I pursued to do. And the thing for me was that I always felt, in terms of giving back to the community, that it was a very important thing to do, because I'll tell you a story. When I was going to Martin Van Buren High School in Queens Village, New York. One day I was on a bus coming back home, and the bus was stopped by the police, and I was taken off the bus to be questioned by the police because a robbery had taken place not too far from the school. Well, these two gentlemen got off the bus with me when they saw what had happened, and vouched for me, said he just came from out of school. He couldn't have been a part of any robbery that was going on in the area. And that left a lasting impression upon me that not only about myself, but I had to also be an advocate for other people. Because none of us are able to make it in this world by ourselves. We have the opportunity to use our God-given talent for whatever it might be, but along the way we're always going to need someone to lend us a helping hand. And so with that philosophy, I went to York College, which that was on a scholarship called the SEEK program, the Search for Education, Enlightenment, and Knowledge. And they paid full tuition for me, books, even gave me a stipend. And it wasn't just me. It was an initiative by a state senator in Buffalo, New York, by the name of Arthur Eve, who pushed the governor to have a program that would uplift people from a lower class lifestyle into a middle class lifestyle through education. And so I went to York College and received my Bachelor of Arts degree. After I got my Bachelor of Arts degree, I went to work for the New York City Youth Board, which allowed me to go ahead and work with young people in the community to improve their quality of life by opening their eyes to things that were different in the sense of they lived in a disadvantaged neighborhood, but they could now see other different things that were going on in life. If you've never experienced or seen anything different other than your maybe 1 mile radius existence, then you don't really have a very well-rounded perspective as far as life is concerned, because you've never seen it. So this was a situation where we were able to take young people to Broadway plays, to different cultural institutions, to institutions of higher education, and introduce them to different people who came from various walks of life, so that they would be exposed to something different than what they experienced in their neighborhoods. So that was the youth board. I graduated from there to the New York State Division for Youth. I worked as an equal employment opportunity representative, trying to help individuals get jobs with the Division for Youth and to protect the constitutional civil rights of different individuals. And so I did that for about 16 months, And I was promoted into the local services agency, which within the New York State Division for Youth, which gave money to nonprofit organizations to help improve the quality of life in their area. And so I had the opportunity at that time to go ahead and monitor different community-based organizations to make sure that they were using the money properly to improve the quality of life of young people in the community. And also I was able to go ahead and grant money, make a decision in terms of a grantor to go ahead and start different programs that we saw could help people in the community, like Youth in Tennis in New York City, which was a tennis program that was in the inner city that helped not only help kids learn about tennis, but to help them as far as their studies were concerned, that they had to maintain a certain grade point average to be in the program. And so I was very happy about the fact that that was the initial grant that that organization received, and it grew and really took off as far as a program is concerned by people like Bill Briggs, who passed away, but started a great program. And I left from the New York State Division for Youth to go to the Health and Hospitals Corporation, again, as an equal opportunity affirmative action officer for Queens Hospital Center, which for me was full circle in the sense that when I was a young person, still in high school, I worked at Queens Hospital Center in the laundry room with the Neighborhood Youth Services Agency. We had summer jobs, and I worked in the laundry room. And so coming back to Queens Hospital Center was a great opportunity to help put my stamp on it from a perspective of going ahead and helping, as again, people who, in terms of not being able to get a job there, now we're able to go ahead and start a career in health services. And so we did that, and we also had a project to go ahead and rebuild Queens Hospital Center, which was a $500 million project. And I was involved in that from a perspective of making sure that minority and women-owned businesses were a part of that particular process by getting grants to do either, well, not general contract work, but subcontract work at the facility. So as a project manager responsible for minority and women-owned businesses participating in the project, that helped me also learn more about what it takes to not only build but operate a particular facility. So I left from the Health and Hospitals Corporation and went out to Long Island, New York, as the executive director of the Suffolk County Human Rights Commission. And Suffolk County, New York is a bedroom community for New York City. People who work in Manhattan or Brooklyn or Queens, even the Bronx, would live out in Suffolk County because there's only maybe about an hour's drive from Suffolk into the city or less. And there are 10 towns there, and one of the things that I took on as far as being the executive director is concerned is going ahead and making sure that each one of the 10 towns had an anti-bias task force to help to make sure that people could live in the community without the fear of prejudice and bigotry showing its face in those communities. Because we had a situation in Comac where swastikas were painted on the track of the local high school. And that woke everybody up to make sure that different community organizations could have an impact working together to end bigotry and hatred and discrimination. If not end it, at least reduce it to the point where people felt comfortable about opening their doors to their neighbors and working well together. So that was an initiative that I really was happy about, because it not only happened in the western part of Suffolk County, but the eastern part, the Tony, Hamptons, East Hampton, and Southampton, South Hole, and all those other different places that you may read about or hear about on as far as television is concerned. They needed that type of action also, working together to improve the quality of life in their communities by reducing or ending hatred and bigotry. So I was very happy about the fact that we reduced the complaints as far as EEO is concerned in Suffolk County during my tenure there. And from Suffolk County, I went to the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, New York City Transit, where it has over 63,000 employees. And I was a vice president for, again, EEO and affirmative action. And we did the same thing. We made sure that the rights, the constitutional rights of those in the protected classes, by that I mean based upon race, creed, color, national origin, sexual orientation, that we protected their rights, and at the same time made sure that they got promotions if it was warranted and they were qualified, to make it more inclusive and diverse as far as the workforce of the MTA is concerned. And I also had the great opportunity to work as far as making sure that minority and women-owned businesses were participating in the everyday expenditures of the MTA, which was billions of dollars. And so we had the opportunity to go ahead and make sure that the women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses had a piece of the pie as far as what was going on in see, people may not realize this, but MTA took in Metro North and the bridges and the tunnels, the subways, the buses, every mode of public transportation in the New York City area or region. So it was a big agency and a big promotion for me, and I was very happy to be a part of that effort, the initial effort. I left from there and went to work for ELMCOR, Youth and Adult Activities, a nonprofit organization that provided a number of different services, from elder care to substance abuse rehabilitation, keeping young people off the streets by having computer classes and recreation as far as basketball and even golf is concerned. So it was a multi-million-dollar organization that was in the shadow of Shea Stadium, or I should say City Station, I think it is now. I forget the name of the stadium, City Stadium, where the New York Mets play. But it's on Northern Boulevard in the Corona East Elmhurst section. And by the way, a number of people, prominent people, lived in that particular area, such as Satchmo, Louis Armstrong. His house was right down the block from my office. And Eric Holder, the former Attorney General of the United States, his family lived there. And it was a tight-knit community, and we were able to do some great things in terms of turning around the lives of individuals. And I have to say this, one of the things that was most important to me about what I did wasn't so much the salary that I received, but it was the fact that I would have people come up to me and thank me for the different things that I did to go ahead and change their lives around. And that was really, to me, the greatest reward I could get as far as the role I played along with my team. And it's very important to understand that you're part of a team, and that you play a role in helping everyone do what they need to do to be successful in what they do. And so I was happy that when I did leave there, they gave me an award for the service that I had provided to Elm Corps Youth and Adult Activities. And from Elm Corps, I left and went to Florida. I had retired from the state of New York and moved down to Florida. And I guess I don't know how to retire very well, but I went to work for the city of Sarasota. And I started out in the redevelopment office of Sarasota in the Newtown area and helped to go ahead and revitalize different businesses along the corridor of Martin Luther King Way. We were fortunate to get a grant from the Community Development Agency, Community Development Block Grant from the United States Community Development Agency. And we were able to do some great things as far as landscaping and the facade of businesses, making them look more attractive, making MLK Way the hub for activity within the Newtown area. So I was happy to do that, and was asked then to become the interim assistant city manager for the city of Sarasota. And that was another task in terms of going ahead and working with different agencies within the community to help as far as growth is concerned in dealing with various initiatives that the city was undertaking to improve the quality of life. One of the big issues with the city of Sarasota was affordable housing. And so I worked with different community organizations and developers to work together to meet the needs of the people in the community as far as affordable housing is concerned. So that was a great opportunity for me as far as going ahead and working with different people as part of a team again to make these different things happen. I left from the city of Sarasota to take on the position of city manager or city administrator of the city of Arcadia, the first African American to ever hold that position in that city. Because that was a city that, I don't know if you know the term, but it was called a sundown city at one time. And what did that mean? That meant that in terms of African Americans, you couldn't be seen on the streets of that particular city after the sun went down at night. So it was during the time of Obama becoming elected president of the United States, and the good people of the city of Arcadia thought that I would be the best person to help them in terms of moving forward as far as the city is concerned. And we did some positive things there also, as far as using grant money to improve the infrastructure, to make the facilities that were under the control of the city more handicapped, or I should for disabled people, making it more accessible for them to be able to use it. So I was very happy to do that. And all during that particular time, I also worked as a professor of American National Government for the St. Petersburg College and the State College of Florida. And so I had a lot of opportunities to work with young people in the community. And one of the things I always tell young people is that the same thing my mother told me in terms of education. Get yourself a good education and you can fulfill whatever potential you have as a human being. No one can take away your knowledge. They can take a job or go ahead and foreclose on a house or what have you. Those things happen in life. But once you get an education, once you enlighten yourself to the fact that these gifts that you've been given, that you can augment them by getting a good quality education, it allows you to deal with the ups and downs of life that are going to come. No matter who you are, there's going to be the ups and downs that come with living. You got to know in terms of getting knocked down how to get back up. And education is the way to be able to find out how you best can do that. Because as I mentioned in terms of my career, I had to reinvent myself in all the different places that I ended up going. And the only way I could have done that is by getting a quality education and improving not only my talent, but also as far as character is concerned. You have to go ahead and work with people from a perspective of respect and being respected. Because your talent can take you far, but only character is going to keep you there. A good character in terms of being a respectful person of other human beings will serve you well in going forward. I always believed in hard work. I believed in the fact that you may have more talent than me, but you're not going to necessarily outwork me. And so I always try to impart that to my students, that you got to put the effort in. Just don't take a person's word for something. Go ahead and research these things yourself. Do critical thinking about what issues that you're being confronted with, and do a cost-benefit analysis as to what it means for you, your family, and community. And always think of what's in your best interest. Don't be sold on what people can say just because they say it in a fashion that it inspires you. That's great. But also know that you can inspire yourself even better by learning more, by critically thinking about different things that come your way so that you're able to go ahead and make a good quality decision about whatever steps you're going to take. Because at some point, you're going to have to step out on faith. You're going to have to go ahead and make sure that you are doing what's in the best interest of your family, your community, and this nation. And so it's important that you go ahead and educate yourself to things not only that you find in a book, but also what you find out there in the community. One of the things that I will say is that traveling has helped me. Traveling within the United States and outside the United States to learn things, as I said, for myself. I've traveled around the world. I've been to the different continents of Africa, going to Cairo, going to Nairobi, been to Shanghai in Asia, and Hong Kong and Singapore, and Europe in terms of Rome and Paris and Barcelona, and then just traveling in the United States, going to Hawaii, going to the Big Island, and to Maui and Los Angeles and California and Texas and Fort Worth, it's an education to go ahead and travel and learn about different people and how they see the world, and get a better understanding as far as history is concerned of the people who live in that particular area. So I hope that the things that I have said to you today will have an impact in your life and what you'll do in terms of making quality decisions for yourself. My family, we came from Barbados, Jamaica, St. Vincent, and so we have come here to the United States and carved out a niche for ourselves. And I'm so happy for what my parents, my grandparents did to go ahead and instill in me the different things that I have that have lasted for a lifetime for me. And I feel very proud of the fact that folks who pick cotton and sugar cane have had the opportunity to go ahead and come to this country or work in this country or start at the bottom and graduate to that person, one of their own, becoming the most powerful person on the face of the earth in terms of President of the United States and Barack Obama. So don't tell me you can't make it in this country. Anybody who puts their shoulder to the wheel and wants to go ahead and make a better life for themselves can. Are there going to be obstacles? Yes. Is racism an obstacle? Yes. Is sexism an obstacle? Is LGBTQ an obstacle? Can be an obstacle. All those things people will put in your way. But you need to learn how to either go around them, go over them, or through them to reach your particular goal. And know that for me, being a Christian, a child of the one true living God, that you have the opportunity to go ahead and fulfill your particular dreams as a human being in giving back and making a contribution to this country. And so I thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk with you and to give you my best thoughts on what I hope will inspire you to go ahead and reach your full potential, knowing that you have a greater one inside of you than what you might see here in the world. So I bless you. I want to wish you nothing but blessings and grace and favor in everything that you do in life. And I thank you so much for this opportunity.